So I finished Call of Duty's main campaign. I really had a good time. This is a non-spoiler review, just going over the points that I think were really good. So I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do consider leaving a like, a subscribe, and hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. And let me know if you'd like to see more of this sort of content on this channel. Right, so Black Ops 6. After the campaign for Modern Warfare 3, all eyes were on Activision with Black Ops 6 to deliver something special. The Modern Warfare 3 campaign didn't really hit the right notes, and even though I enjoyed what I played, it was lacking in certain areas. It had the twists, it had the moments, but one, it was way too short, and two, that abrupt end just didn't make sense. So they had a lot to deliver on this one, especially since people were calling it the first Call of Duty that Microsoft released, even though they didn't even work on it. Well, fast forward to Black Ops 6, and this is one that they did work on. This is one that they did have some input, some, interaction with. And well, with Black Ops 6, did they deliver? Man, did they. They knocked it out of the park. Now, obviously, based on that alone, you know that I've enjoyed this game, and it's going to be a good review. But that being said, there are points in here that I will raise that I think weren't so good, weren't so great, and we're going to be going through those as well. Call of Duty needed a true redemption arc, and they got it. Black Ops 6 is arguably the best Call of Duty to date, with potentially the only one that comes close, in my opinion, is the Kevin Spacey one with Advanced Warfare, but I still think that this one in particular just knocked it straight out of the park. They completely redid the formula, and what you have is a glorious concoction of the best blend you could possibly ask for from a Call of Duty campaign. From the light RPG elements introduced to the basic yet effective base building, Call of Duty has undergone the evolution it absolutely needed to reach new heights, and it worked. Black Ops 6 is based during the Gulf War era. However, despite this and the fanfare with Bill Clinton, the Gulf played as loose a part in the overall campaign than one would have thought, and though some may see this as a missed opportunity, and to be fair, at the time when I was playing, I kind of felt like, why aren't we delving more into that? The direction the campaign ultimately took wouldn't have worked if they did follow history word for word, and would have been another generic campaign. At least that's the way I feel right now after having finished the main campaign. The fact that they deviated in ways that they did is a testament to the storytelling. The campaign is about 10 hours long, with a variety of puzzles littered throughout the campaign, including one in your base at the very start of the game. I highly advise you pick up the blacklight off the table and go exploring. There is a big puzzle there that's definitely worth picking up because it will give you a head start as you play. Your best bet is probably going to be to Google it, but if you are like me and want to work it out yourself, then knock yourself out. Now, I know some of you may have seen videos of bugs and stuff. Personally, I experienced 0 crashes, 0 bugs. In the whole time I played the game, which was a nice change. Usually I experienced a few bugs here and there. I experienced one clipping through the door when the guy was moving away from the door. I'm not even going to bother with that. Overall, it was a flawless experience. In terms of your base, you earn money through missions, and you can find money littered around. Definitely go out of your way to try and find alternate paths because they usually lead to stashes of money, and you kind of want as much of that as you possibly can get in order to unlock all the perks, which I guess for the hardest difficulty you'll probably want to unlock the whole perk trees. And this in itself adds a decent amount of replayability, as you will seek to unlock all the perks including the multiplayer specific skins, which was a nice touch. You start the campaign being accused of failing and being suspended from any further action. You know, the usual type of thing. Knowing something doesn't smell right, you seek to find out the truth and set out to recruit a team that will aid you throughout the campaign in finding the truth. Hence the tagline for the game, seek the truth. What I loved most about this was the bonds between the team growing, which worked great as the team gelled together, creating synergy between them like a well-oiled engine. It just worked, and that's the best way to describe Black Ops 6. It just works and delivers a phenomenal experience. Unlike the previous Call of Duty games, Black Ops 6 decides that it will throw everything at you, from intense firefights, stealth, tank missions, chopper missions, sci-fi, zombies, and even an open world segment that had you clearing out enemy camps, destroying SAMs, and more. Overall, the game had just about everything and was influenced by some of the best movies out there. At one point, I thought I was in my very own Ocean's 11, and it was absolutely beautiful as we performed the greatest heist. It was just magical to see how everything just worked and fell into place. It was just, you remember that movie, Now You See Me, Now You Don't? It just reminded me of stuff like that, and it worked in the most magical way. Of course, after every mission, the player was sent to the base where you can upgrade and unlock perks. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, there's an awesome puzzle hidden in the base which you can do as soon as you gain access to the HQ. You definitely should do this. Now, there is going to be a point in the game where it pretty much tells you that this is the point of no return, so if you do want to do that puzzle, that will be your last chance in doing it. But I would advise doing it as early as possible because it will help you in your campaign going forward. Again, as I mentioned, just make sure to pick up the blacklight on the table, as everything really revolves around this. Around halfway through the campaign is when you get the major plot twist, which again wasn't just thrown in there for the sake of it. Everything was done in an order and way that made sense at the perfect time. I really was taken back, and that plot twist was a real plot twist. It was like, holy crap. And you know, it was done well enough where I didn't see it coming. Maybe others will, but for me personally, I didn't see it coming. And when it was revealed, I was like, damn. And that's the type of, that's the expression you want when you're playing these games. That's the kind of reception you want to give, the type of immersion that you want to have. So what does the game do right? Graphically on the Xbox Series X, this game looked amazing. I couldn't really fault it. Graphically, especially during the cutscenes when they really pushed, the graphical fidelity through the roof, it looked absolutely phenomenal. The game was running 4K 60 and was an absolute treat. This won't rival the likes of Hellblade 2 in terms of graphical performance, but it's likely the next best game I've seen this year. I don't think I've seen another game that really, on that graphical level, is going to challenge it. It was really, really high. Facial animations were insanely high quality, textures, just overall terrain, everything just looked really high quality. And the way you was interacting, the smoke, the dust effects, the particle effects, the explosions, everything just looked really great. So overall, graphically it was just awesome. The gunplay feels great. Every weapon feels different enough for you to find your favorite weapons. The headshots feel and sound good, and the impact from the weapons is just right. When you get that sweet headshot and you hear that for the it's just on point. You don't feel it was too much, you don't feel it was too little. It was just right. And this is the thing, like a reoccurring theme throughout the whole experience of the campaign, that it just feels right. They didn't kind of try to overdo it, they didn't try to undersell it. They hit that sweet spot and they maintained that sweet spot all the way through. The sound and music was on point. At times I found myself stopping just to admire the music, especially in the open area where they had, I guess, Arabic music playing, and as someone who is Turkish, I could resonate with it, and it was really good. Like, the choice of music was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I just sat there at times while I was streaming, just listening to it, because it was just that absorbing. Voice acting felt natural and smooth and not forced. Everything about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 just clicked, and it helped deliver the complete package. Maneuverability is what you would expect from Call of Duty, but now you have extra movement where you can kind of dive and turn 180 degrees. Of course, if you're going and watching the actual, multiplayer side of things, you've got everyone jumping and diving for no reason now and getting absolutely murked. But overall, in the context of gameplay, if used correctly, it's actually a game-changing kind of accessibility feature, that just, again, just improves on what's already there. Having recently played the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, having come to Game Pass Ultimate, and now playing Black Ops 6, which is a historic move from Microsoft, having the game day and date on Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass, the difference between the two games is really night and day. Black Ops 6 is a true redemption arc for Activision and is a glimpse at how Microsoft and its broad range of studios can benefit and complement each other. Black Ops 6 is a culmination of all of this and delivers an amazing experience that just falls short of being a masterpiece. Go back generations and games prided themselves in giving you that final package. You could argue that it does set up a continuation for Black Ops 7, but for me, I wanted that final challenge which never came, that final boss. There is something there, but I wouldn't really call it a boss. I kind of want that boss to be there. You know, you play Metal Gear, you've got that big Metal Gear at the end. I don't even care if it was just a one-on-one with one of the enemies. I just wanted something. What we got for myself, personally, just wasn't it. And I think that that really was the only real true negative that I found overall in the whole game, and it's why it actually affected my overall final score. But overall for me, the game does everything right. It delivers franchise firsts and still manages to be amazing at them. Having those conversation options now in Call of Duty, I hope is going to be a franchise staple. It actually adds lore and context and background information, and it allows you to get to know the characters a bit better. It just provides you with just that much, you know, just that bit extra information, knowledge, and it really helps with the immersion and the overall landscape of the game, filling in the spots that you just don't know about, or finding out a little bit more about the characters that you wouldn't have found out. So it's a nice touch, and it's the first time I've seen it in Call of Duty, so I hope it's here to stay. Is the campaign worth playing? Absolutely. You would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't. And for that reason, I give Call of Duty a 9 out of 10. The next Call of Duty installment has big shoes to fill, and this would have probably hit something like maybe a 9.5 had you got that final kind of boss battle in there, but they didn't. But it still doesn't detract from the overall experience of what the game provides. And as you go along and you unlock those perk trees and you become more flexible in what you can do and the way you can react, and the more impact you can do as you're unlocking those perks for the main campaign, which ultimately will allow you to make the later difficulties if you choose to go back and unlock all the perks and the, you know, the multiplayer skins. It'll just aid you, so the replayability value is there as well. It just delivers overall. It just missed it on that last final point for me, and for that reason, it scores a very, very commendable 9 out of 10. Well everyone, that's my review of Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching, and again, if you did enjoy this content, do consider leaving a like, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next video or the next review. Thanks so much. Until next time, remain legend.